Hello, human beings and everybody else. Come on in once again to the Library of Horror Hotel, where it's time for Creepy Cheapies once more. What the heck is that? Well, that's where we just take a few minutes out from your busy week of trying to figure out what in the world people expect of you and take a little break for a few minutes and instead devote our attention to the art of monsters. Now, today's scary monster from the world of latex masks happens to be a Zagoni Studios, a recent release from, was it 2023 or 22? He says it doesn't matter. Okay, well, it was either 22 or 23. 22? Yeah, anyway, here he is from Zagoni's. This one was sculpted by a human named Aaron Lewis. You know, I probably shouldn't make sweeping presumptions like that. I'm assuming he's a human. I'm presuming you're a human, but I haven't actually done any tests or lab work to back that claim up. So maybe I shouldn't refer to sculptor Aaron Lewis as a human, but I'm just guessing, just going out on a limb there, gonna guess. I know you shouldn't presume things like that about people, preconceived notions, I know. Because like they say, when you presume, you make a press out of you and me. I know, but I think he's a human. Anyway, he sculpted this terrific retro-looking monster called, don't get ahead of me here, called Super Creep. Yeah, and I know you might be thinking, oh, I'm familiar with that. Yeah, Super Creep. That's old Rick James song. No, that was something else you're thinking of. And I know most of you are thinking, oh, Super Creep. Yeah, he was old crime fighter in the comic books. Remember Super Creep? Strange visitor from planet Krypton, whose only weakness is his vulnerability to green kryptonite. You know, the superhero. Went into a phone booth back when there were such things and became Super Creep, fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. Remember that? That's not him. But he thinks he could do all that. You could do all that, couldn't you? Sure. You know, disguised by day as meek, mild-mannered reporter Lois Lane, Super Creep becomes No, that's not actually what he's just Super Creep because he's super creepy. So he was awarded that title of Super Creep. Now, as you can probably see, this is a latex half mask with an elastic strap around the back and a pretty nice cloth hood. And this isn't that really super cheap, flimsy nylon kind of cloth like all of the Scream type ghosts have. This is nicer fabric than that from the Zagoni folks. And I don't know what this is going to look like on your viewing monitor of choice, but in person, Super Creep is largely blue and purple. Now, I usually think of the 80s when I think of blue and purple. That seems like 80s colors to me. And yet, Super Creep somehow looks more like a 70s monster to me. Do you think? Or don't you? He looks like a 70s monster to me. Just something about his attitude and just his general anatomical structure. He looks like a 70s. He could be a 60s, 70s, or 80s monster, but to me he kind of has a 70s vibe, even though he's sort of 80s colors with the blue and purple. And I don't know if you can tell this either, but this particular copy has sort of a white top of the head. I've seen some copies that are blue and purple, like on up there, and some have more of a white skull-looking top like this guy does. But in any case, what a great monster. Now, you might wonder what he is besides just being a creep. I would have guessed he was a dead thing. I would have guessed he was a ghost kind of thing because he has a vaguely skull-like appearance. But actually, according to the Zagoni website, he is in fact a space alien. He is from another planet. And he came to Earth clinging on to one of our space missions, you know, clinging to an Earth rocket. He hitched a ride back here to this planet. Now, if you were going to wear this at Halloween or your brother's wedding or wherever, I don't know that you would necessarily have to use it as an alien because I think many people, like me, would think more like, he looks more like a ghost or a ghoul of some sort. Like he could be haunting a cemetery. If you were using him in the haunted house, he could be haunting the cemetery or a dungeon or some such thing. But he has these great eyes, these great cartoony eyes that are really staring insanely and would show up in the low light and hopefully creep people out, give people the creeps, right? Well, okay, don't give people the creeps, sell people the creeps, because if you give people the creeps, you'll go broke, because what do these cost? About 50 bucks, I think? I think about 50 bucks will get you a super creep. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. Don't hold me to that, but I believe that's the deal with the super creep. And you know, when I look at him, what kind of voice do you think he would have? I actually hear a celebrity voice coming out of there. What do you think he would talk like? If I had like expensive CGI capabilities and could make his mouth realistically talk? If you don't know who he is, look up an old comedian from old movies and TV named Joey Ross. Joey Ross, I can hear his voice coming out of this mask for some reason. No, not right now, like literally, but and by the way, when I say Joey Ross, I'm saying Joe space capital E period. Joe E. Ross is the comedian I'm thinking of. Not Joey like on Friends. Not Joey like Joey Ramone. Not Joey like Joey Bishop. Not Joey like a baby kangaroo. Not Joey like Joey I'm Not Angry Anymore by Concrete Blonde. No, I'm saying Joe E. And anyway, uh-oh, here comes an end screen.